Thank you for joining us today on ThriveCAST. I'm joined by Vikas Kaushal, and he is a key force behind Foyer, which is driving its strategy and global expansion across the globe to make interior design faster, easier, and way more fun. Today we're gonna talk about this platform, and we're also gonna dive into some visualization and how it's shaking up the industry and what's in store for the future. So, Vikas, thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. We're going to have a lot of fun. So excited to do this.
Yeah, so can you share a little bit about yourself and your background and what is Foyer all about?
Of course, yeah. So I'm Vikas. I co-founder over at Foyer. Majority of my career has been spent in and around technology products. I have endeavored to bring some awesome products to market, driving their launch and adoption. And in my career, I see it as three distinct phases. So I spent a time about 7 to 8 years in some well-known technology companies like Adobe, working on products like Photoshop, Adobe PDF. So that was a lot of fun. The second phase, I would say, I've held some specialist roles at some fast scaling property technology companies like Matterport, where I was heading product marketing. And then obviously Foyer, which has probably been the third or the most fulfilling phase of my career, building something from scratch for a problem where I thought I could add some value or I could help solve. And so it's been fun. And the Foyer journey has also taken me to or given me the opportunity to work in three different countries. We started in India, then I worked in Singapore, and then now I'm here in California. So it's been an amazing career. Yeah, and past life, as I like to call it, is all technology. So love technology and love the change we can bring with technology and the power of it. And Foyer is in some way a small endeavor to bring a positive change in the lives of designers and home improvement professionals.
So let's talk about a little bit about Foyer because you have a couple different software platforms, right? That you're working from. So, what is Foyer all about? And what problems are you really solving to
Yeah,
help,
absolutely.
interior designers?
To put it very simply, we are an online interior design platform. And let me unpack that. Online means we use the best of cloud technologies and bring the entire power of cloud to every user. We do not want creators, especially designers and home remodeling professionals, to be constrained by hardware. So everything we do is always on the get-go, very accessible, very online. So that's the first part or principle of Foyer. The second is interior design, where there are a couple of workflows that an interior designer does, starting off with basic space planning in 2D, and then they kind of are creating the space or they're trying to show the homeowner how the space can look like, right? So they get into 3D modeling and then share renders and walkthroughs. So we're trying to bring all of that into one tool, right? And that's what we are doing and making it very easy yet keeping it professional. So that's what I mean by all interior design. And with platform, what we mean is we continue to create tools and kind of create this new operating system for design and contracting professionals, where they can come, you get the visualization software, they also get an AI tool which we'll talk about later, but that's the idea. So that's what Foyer is. You asked about the problem we are solving. So we started off solving the 3D visualization problem. I think what we saw was all of these tools, which are fairly sophisticated, fairly advanced, were not really built for a design and a contracting professional. They were built for a different audience. They are built for engineers, architects. You're doing building exterior, and they're very geometry focused. There wasn't an easy to use tool that is very workflow focused. So to give you an example, you draw a line in Foyer. In any other software, it's a combination of vertices, right? But in Foyer, it's a wall, right? Or if you draw something, it understands that you're just doing designing. So that makes the whole process much more fun, much more easy to learn and use. And you start seeing the ROI of using Foyer in a very short period of time. So those are like happy to dive deeper, but at a high level, that's how we see this space, and that's our role in the space.
So you mentioned that, there's a lot of other 3D visualization tools out there. I mean, you got
Yeah.
SketchUp and Homestyler and Planner 5D. I mean, what makes Foyer so different from all of those? Is it the fact that you can draw these walls and make it a little bit easier, make it come to life? What's your key
Yeah,
differentiator?
absolutely. Yeah, and we love to talk about it. I think the way we see this whole landscape of all interior design tools out there is there are a lot of very professionally capable tools which are reasonably hard to learn and use. So I would say 3ds Max, SketchUp will fall into this category. They serve a very sophisticated audience and they're really awesome products. On the other side of the spectrum, there are very consumer oriented products, but they are very limited in their approach in what they can do. So you can probably create a 2D design, but it stops there. So we come in, we say, can we make a product, or is so Foyer essentially is that product which is easy enough to use yet professional to support all the workflows for a designer and for a contracting professional. It's not going to do building design and all that good stuff that is left to other softwares. It's also not going to be very simplistic that you are just stuck with 2D design. So you could do 2D, 3D, and rendering in one product, still have that professional workflow done, because at the end of the day, these are business owners who are using us, but still keep it very simple, very consumer oriented. Everything is very drag and drop, workflow based. And we want users to think workflows and not get lost in remembering menu items. So the interface is super easy to use. Plus, we kind of help users do away with 3 products if they switch to a product like Foyer, because you don't need a CAD, a 3D rendering, and a 3D modeling software. You can get all of that done in one program. So those are our strengths, and that's how our customers love us, for the simplicity and the workflows. But I'm sure there are amazing products out there, including SketchUp, which have a much broader use case.
Yeah, it sounds like you increase the efficiency of work, right? Like, and being able to do it kind of all under one umbrella where, say, for instance, from a graphic design point, you're using Adobe and you're familiar with Adobe, and it has Illustrator, it's got, InDesign, it's got Photoshop, it's got
Right.
Adobe, and you have to work in all of those separate platforms and then marry them all together in order to create something that's universal. So I would imagine Foyer is something similar to that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And we love that analogy because, for example, if you're a digital marketer and you want to get a poster created for your social, right? Now you can go to Photoshop, you can go to Adobe Express, you can go to Canva and get it done. But all of these tools come with their own pros and cons, Canva being the easiest, whereas Photoshop can also get the job done. So the analogy here is, we are more like Canva. If you want to get a workflow done, you come here. But if you want the entire toolkit and you have a more expansive workflow and you have the time and energy and the dollars to invest in a broader, bigger software, you would go to something more sophisticated. But it is about productivity. It's about bringing these workflows to this audience and helping them get to the end goal, which is, can I visualize this space? Can I show this space to a homeowner within a day, right? Which otherwise takes weeks.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Well, you guys are disrupting the industry a little bit. I wanted to talk a little bit about your AI tool. It's Ideate, right? That's what
Yeah.
it's called. So what does it do, and how are general contractors, designers, how are people using this tool?
Yeah, we are very excited about Ideate. We have been doing a lot of research in the last year. We just recently launched it. It's available it was a beta for the longest time because we wanted to learn and be absolutely sure that this isn't a solution looking for a problem. So we perfected the workflow. So Ideate today essentially is you can start from a prompt, which is text or an image, and generate designs. So you could type in, hey, I want to create a modern living room with certain style, and it'll create it for you. Or you could kind of upload an image or a picture of your home, upload a reference image, and then prompt on top of it, it'll generate designs, right? So, and I'm happy to showcase a demo, but that's what Ideate is doing. To the other part of your question, how are our customers using it? So these are early days, but I think the strongest signal we are seeing coming from the contractor community is it is being used as a sales tool. It is being used as a tool to drive more sit rates or more those coffee table conversations, because customers come with a broad and they have an idea of what their space, what the space they want. They have some pictures. So this tool helps kind of narrow down what it is and then enables the contracting professional to have a more detailed discussion. So that's one way it's being used. The other way, by design professionals, it's being used as a pure brainstorming tool, right? Like customers have some ideas and you do not want to get into the process of rendering because that still takes, even on Foyer, it still takes a few days and you're not really sure if this customer is going to go with you or not, but
Right.
you still want to give them a good output. So it's a pure brainstorming ideation design tool. So those two cases we are seeing emerge. And then there's some interesting cases, which is where people are able to do some upselling, cross-selling, because someone now sees their entire living room with more furniture and they like it. And then, you're able to probably drive a higher cart value in some way. So I would say
Wow.
those are some early signals, fairly early. We're learning. We have the tool out. It's available at ideate.foyer.com for anyone to try. It's also available through a partnership on a number of contractor websites. So people are trying it and we're learning every day. But those would be our early conclusion, but lots to learn.
Well, let's do a demo, and can you walk us through what this looks like? And let's see it in action.
Absolutely. Let me bring up my screen.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. So this is Ideate. So essentially, this is what you're trying to do. We are trying to turn ideas, thoughts, whether it's in text or images, into designs. It is live at ideate.foyer.com, free for anyone to use. And if you're using it, if you're listening here on this podcast, reach out to me. I can get some more credits added to your account. But it's going to, we have four pillars of Ideate. Before I get into the demo, first is, as you can see, you can start from text or image. Second thing is we have trained the model to be very focused on maintaining structural consistency. So if you're using an image and it has doors, walls, windows, you can be rest assured the doors, walls, windows would stay the same in the final design. We've also optimized the models that we are using here for precision. So if you're an adherence to the prompt that you're giving. And the fourth thing is, once a design is created, we also have the option to edit those designs or customize those designs, and I'll demonstrate all of that. But let's begin with the easiest one, which is just starting with text. So this is our user experience, and we know writing prompts is to some people it comes pretty organically. For some, it needs a bit of hand holding. So you'll see a ton of examples or sample prompts already. So you could select this and get started. There are also a lot of images with prompts written on top of that as you scroll down. So just to give you an idea of, hey, this is all the tool can do. But for our
Yeah.
demonstration, I would just probably write a very simple one and then just talk through it. So let me say we want to do, a bright modern living room with curved beige sofa, black coffee table, and large floor to ceiling windows. If I'm a designer, I'm brainstorming ideas, I'm spending a ton of time on Pinterest, but this is what I actually want. So now I'm able to express myself and then generate designs. The cool thing here is this is now, you could also do this in languages other than English. So if Spanish is your language or you're more comfortable with Spanish or any other language, this text can be written in about more than 100 languages and you'll still get the design.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, you'll have to tell me. I can't wait to see what it generates.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you'll see this model here. So I'm just going to go for the model which generates. So I'll show. So when you click generate, it's going to start generating, and for every query or every prompt, it's going to generate 4 variations, right? And
Okay.
this model is ultra fast, so it's essentially optimized for speed. And then we have another model which I'll demo, which is for precision. So in less than, like say, what it took 10 seconds, the tool is able to generate designs. And as you can see, all windows are floor to ceiling, so it's done a pretty good job. It's put some real image out there, so it looks real. Sofa is beige, it's curved. Obviously, it's a little, it's not a regular design, but I just wanted to put this prompt so we can see what the tool
Yeah.
can do, right?
Yeah, that's
And
very cool. So if you had specifics, right? That you had the dimensions of the room, could you input all of those dimensions of the room into this and then it'll essentially emulate what it is that you want to build?
yeah, you could do that. However, I would say the better way for that workflow would be to start with an image. So it's automatically going to pick where the walls and windows and the structural part of that room, and then create a design on top of it. And I'll be demoing it in a minute.
Okay, cool.
So
Wow.
this is, and then you have a super precise model. And as I was saying, the output quality is typically very high resolution. And now you're seeing this on screen share, but if you see it for real, it's easily 4K and above quality. And the other model we have is a super precise model, which is even more advanced. We just put it out there. It generates one output at a time, but the quality and adherence to prompt is even higher. So some users, once they have figured out, hey, what they want, they go for this. Just select this radio button and go here. And just to remind everyone, the tool is free. You can come in and play. You can also type in Spanish or a language of your choice, and you'll still get the same output. This one, super precise model, might take a little longer, but it's going to be more accurate. While this loads, I can also fire up another tab and just start with image and come back. So with image, you could start typically with a furnished room, or you can start with an empty room. And we have templates on both sides, on both these workflows. So the first one is, hey, I want to generate an image, and it's let's say it's for my kitchen, right? So I have a image of a kitchen that I want to bring in, which is, yeah, typically this is my kitchen. So I've put it here. And now I have two options. I just want to customize design, or I want to restyle it. So let's say we go with restyling, right? And then it's going to ask me, hey, do you have an inspiration that you want to use, or do you want to pick one of these themes, right? So I don't have an inspiration, but if I were, let's say, let me actually try that. So we could give it an inspiration, which is more like, if you can see here, it's a kitchen with dark cabinets and stuff. And then on top of that, now this is where the real power of AI comes. I'm also able to then write a prompt, right? Let me see. I'm just going to try and just paste something I had written above. So I'm just going to say, hey, the floor is light hardwood, bright white backsplash. I want cabinets that are rich espresso colors, stuff like that. Countertop is crisp white, and then we hit generate. So now this is going to take your floor plan, a reference image, and a prompt, and try to generate a design.
I want to play with this. Like, I am so excited about this. And I mean, I'm not an interior designer, but I
Yeah,
like this is amazing. I love this.
I know, and I know, like, I'm not a designer as well, but I'm always doing some improvement project, something on my home every now and then, and
Yeah.
never had a good place to start. So now I can come here and start generating ideas,
Oh my
right?
gosh, look at that. Like,
Yeah. So this
it's like,
is our prompt. Our doors, walls, sorry, the window is exactly in the same place. The appliances are all steel. It knows that. It's taken what we had given as prompt. It's also used the style. And I'll show one more cool thing. So let's say you were to add a central island, or you're thinking about adding an island to your kitchen. So you could say, hey, I want to add a product, right? And then just use this brush tool and just show, where do you want the island, right? So you just tell, hey, this is where I think I want a central island with storage. So you highlight this area and just say, hey, add a central island with storage, or you could say with sink, whatever. Let's go with storage. You press generate, and it'll again start prompting. It start generate. You'll always have this queue, and you can generate more. It's not going to stop at 2, but if you like what you see, you can then, that's your design, and you can go from there. While this happens, I'm just going to come and show this one. So this was the super precise model. So it's even higher quality output, the shadows. So it's almost like, a 12K render, very strict
yeah.
adherence to the prompt. So yeah, and now jumping back
Wow.
here. So it's still working its magic on adding the central. So here, you have the island. So it's kind of taken the counter, we had a white countertop. So it understands, I didn't have to say anything. Hey, maintain the prompts. It's automatically understands the design and style. And with a bit of more prompting, you can finesse it. You can actually make it quite perfect. But it just took us like 10 seconds to, add a central island, and it is generating more options. And you can keep playing with it. You can remove objects, change wall paints, restyle it again. and AI enhances just a higher quality output.
Wow. How do you, because you said this is free, how are you making money at Foyer then? Like how does all this work? Is this a membership or,
It
you know,
is.
I'm
So
assuming
the way
it's an
it
entry
works,
level.
yeah. So we have like two go-to markets. One is obviously you can come in and try, but we give a fixed number of credits that you can do. So your generations are capped, and it gives you enough generations to try and experience the product. But then if you want to like really buy it and start using it in your day-to-day, then you can sign up for an X number of credits, whatever the plan you want. The other way we are getting this to market is through partnerships. So you think of contracting businesses who have websites and who want to use this product and then help their customers do the design. But then there are also the folks who can help you procure materials, who can actually get this design executed or implemented. So that's another way we are kind of taking this to market.
Wow. So, I mean, as you know, AI is in the news every single day, and AI in design is still a very hot button topic. So, what is your take on the I versus AI debate, and how do you see professionals really embracing or resisting it? Because I mean, you just created a kitchen design in like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Incredible. So are most people really embracing this with open arms, or are you getting some people going, I don't know about this?
There is skepticism. People, this is new, with anything new, and also we have seen a number of tech waves come and go,
Yeah,
right? So people are right to be apprehensive. In my conversations, I think when we talk to customers, everyone, I think they have a more open mind, or at least they want to learn before they try it in the business. And the apprehension is, two-pronged. One is, just understanding AI and the landscape and how can they then use it for their business. And then second is actually adopting it to their business. So I think what we have been learning is people want to experiment. And in my conversation, it's becoming more a case of it's not I versus AI, but it's like, hey, let's give I plus AI an opportunity, right? So let me become a consumer, let me become a student, let's understand this. And the next step is, hey, can I start using it in some part of my business? And that's a lot of conversations that I've been part of, we have been having. But there is, I think, I do want to call it, there's a fundamental shift in when you think about generative AI software versus any other software or tools out there. And that's primarily because all existing tools are deterministic in nature, which means that, hey, you click on a few things and you can be 100% sure the same output is going to come every single time, right? But
yeah,
that's not the case with generative AI. It is very dynamic. So these design softwares or whatever, I showed a demo, but they're very dynamic. Your creation is unlimited, so they are no longer deterministic, but they learn every day and they get better every day. So I think the earlier you get in, the better it is. Again, apprehension, skepticism is all part of any new technology. But
yeah.
I, for one, I have been seeing much more open-mindedness to this, to learn firstly, and then to try it in on smaller workflows in day-to-day businesses.
Yeah, in marketing, AI, I mean, you know, because you're a marketer too, you know, AI has changed the game of marketing
Oh yeah,
completely. And either you're embracing it or you have already been left behind. And
it
so
is true. It is true. Yeah.
you better embrace it and move forward. I have a lot of friends who are fellow writers and they just repent AI because they think that, you know, AI is taking over the writing, and it's like you guys got to embrace it and use it as a tool instead of a deterrent, you know? So it's really nice to hear that people are, you know, open to learning a little bit more about how it's really going to change the way we do business moving forward. Like we're not going backwards. We're moving forward. So,
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the bit of a shift because it's not a zero-sum game. It's not that
right,
for AI to win, we have to lose. It's I think the mental model here is, hey, if we get this, can I now become more productive? Can I get more tasks done? Can I
right.
do hyper personalized emails because now I have this tool which understands, so I grow my business and I'm getting more done. So that's I think that is where I generally in my conversations try to help users see that piece. If there is an opportunity for the first time to have unlimited generation, right? Now think of it as an assistant, as a tool, as a co-pilot, and then you would start to see results. It would start to do wonders to your business.
Yeah. So you were recently at an event where you spoke, right, about AI's role in professional workflows. I mean, what were some of your biggest takeaways from those that were attending that discussion?
Yeah, I think firstly, a great event. It was for home remodeling professionals. We were chatting about generative AI. And there was, I think, the three key takeaways. One was, hey, is this for real? Is it like, you know, is it really happening? Do you think it's really happening? And people offered their perspective, and was good to learn that it feels real, because these tools, it's not only one time use, but a lot of tools are beginning to see repeat usage. People are starting to embrace it. So that was like one takeaway, that hey, this is for real, right?
Hmm.
Second takeaway was a lot of curiosity around, hey, how can I do this, especially in the construction and the remodeling space? How can we start using this, right? So I'm ready to be a consumer, but what should I get started on tomorrow morning, right? The answer that I was hearing in the room, and my perspective as well, is like, become a consumer, become an informed worker, to see how this can help. So it could be in tool like Ideate, or it could just be summarizing contracts using ChatGPT, or sending very personalized emailers. But start somewhere, and then once you feel comfortable, is probably a time where you can then think of replacing an existing tool with an AI tool.
Yeah, I think that that's very poignant in today's conversation. Tell me, what's been one of the biggest challenges in growing Foyer and this additional platform that you have launched? Is there anything, over the course of your time that you didn't really expect as far
Yeah,
as growth?
I think we are in the technology business, so you're always, when you're in that space, you're always looking to work on the next thing. You want to see, hey, what's the best breed of technology, and how sooner can you bring? I
Yeah.
think the biggest challenge for us has been, we want to do much more products, much more R&D with the resources we have, and much more features. But it's not, you're always behind, because that's how fast
Yeah.
the world changes. Specifically, I would say when ChatGPT came around, I think that was a big shift, because that essentially made Gen AI available and accessible to the masses, right?
Everybody.
To
Yeah.
everybody. And from there on, some parts of our roadmap had to be adjusted, because we were always really doing AI, but then we said, hey, now there's attention. So can we now start putting some products out? That's why where Ideate was in beta for the long time. But we were also very cautious that we do not want to put a tool out just because it's a trend, but we want a tool up where it generates some return on investment for whoever is investing time or money into the tool. And we, I think, waited and experimented and researched for about 6 to 8 months before we launched it. So yeah, just come back to your question. The challenge always has been, hey, how do we, keep up with the pace of the things that are changing around us? And the challenge has always been a bit inward, that we want to do more and
Yeah.
service every feature request that comes to us, because I think the customers have shown us tremendous love over the years. So we owe it to them. We're doing our best, but that's always been our top challenge. How do we put in more R&D? How do we ship features faster? Right? Yeah, staying true to our principles of ease of use.
Yeah, that's so key. And I mean, again, AI has changed how fast things are moving and how fast things are changing. I mean, even as a marketer, with more than 20 years of experience, I feel like I'm almost retraining myself in the field of marketing in using these new technologies just to be able to keep up, right? So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
it's constantly a learning cycle, and I think that that's really important. I love that you guys are always, looking to the future to improve whatever it is that you guys.
True. I think AI is reshaping fundamentally everything. I spoke about how software is changing, and there was a great report, if I may, I think coming from McKinsey, about how you have to what's a mental model to think about generative AI in construction and real estate and the design space. And they offered a framework which says you think about 4 C's. So, and the 4 C's are customer engagement, right? Then second C is creation, right? The third C is around concision. So how can AI help summarize contracts, write better contracts, and the fourth one is how can it codify knowledge? So how can you automate scheduling and all that stuff? So I thought that was a great mental model to think about, hey, am I looking at concision? Because I have a lot of documentation, a lot of contract, but I'm always, hey, what are the top 2 points from my last discussion? So AI can come in handy. Creation obviously is where we have in some way stake on the ground saying, hey, this is one way of doing it. And then there's always customer engagement and, how can you improve that? And the final part is how can you automate things? So early days, but I think that's a great mental model. And it was a hot topic when we were at the event the other day, saying, hey, yeah, this is a good mental model to kind of start thinking through how it impacts our businesses.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to use a funny analogy, but it's like a blueprint, right? Touche being in architecture, engineering, and construction management, but it's almost like a blueprint that you can
It is.
follow
Yeah.
moving forward to be able to make sure that you kind of are checking all of those boxes. So I love that. So tell me, I mean, as if you don't already have enough going on, what is Foyer looking at in 2025 and beyond? What is your primary focus?
I think our primary focus is to bring together our vision of truly becoming an operating system for interior designers. So you come to Foyer for the design tool, you come to Foyer for the Gen AI tool. We already have a mood boarding tool out. We are also offering
Nice.
services because we know designers are busy. Sometimes business is seasonal, so you don't want to, scale up. And if you're scaling, you need some help. So the services business, which is a bit of help for designers and contractors, is really picking up. And we have a couple of other R&D stuff. I think the biggest challenge we want to solve right now is after you create this generative design, uh, how quickly can you make it relatable? Like, hey, can you then help someone to make a purchase through our partners because we are not in the commerce space? Or can you pick up any image, any product from anywhere in the world? You have a URL. Can you instantly convert it into a 3D model so that you can use it in our core product? So those challenges excite us, but as a company, I think it's going to be a convergence for us of a true vision, which we set out to build like about 9 years ago, to become like the operating system for design and real estate professionals.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great vision. Well, it has been amazing talking to you, and I'm excited to even, as soon as I log off, I am going to go in and I'm going to test this out for myself because we want to renovate our kitchen. So perfect,
Right.
footprint for to test how the software works. It's been great talking to you. What is your website one more time?
It's foyer.com, Foyr.com is the core website, and the AI tool is Ideate, Ideate, Foyer.com. Both products you have free trial, no credit card needed, just go try. And if you like it, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
And how can we find you? Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me by my name and my email. If you want to directly drop me a note, it's V as in victory, K as in king at foyr.com. Or you can reach out to our teammates on our chat support. We are live 24/7, always open to feedback and having a great conversation.
Oh, awesome. It has been great talking to you, and thank you for sharing your innovative designs. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Shannon, for the opportunity. Thank you for having me. Perfect.